Welcome back to the SportsMax zone. We turn our attention to football in Spain. The Spanish FA's own request for the body to be suspended due to government interference has been rejected by UEFA, the governing body for the sport in Europe. The Spanish FA complained that its government was interfering in the ongoing World Cup Kissgate saga. The incident saw the Spanish Football Association president, Luis Rubiales, kiss Spain star Jennifer Hermoso on the lips. The Spanish government has called for Rubiales' resignation and have revealed that they are seeking to get him suspended using a legal procedure before a sports tribunal. Rubiales has refused to resign, labeling the kiss as consensual, and vowed to fight to the end. To compound Rubiales' tribulation, Spain prosecutors believe him kissing Hermoso could constitute a crime of sexual assault and have started a preliminary investigation. So Ricardo and Lance, for what should be a joyous celebratory moment for Spanish football, it's now a mess.
Well, the mess started long before their success, because the mess with the Spanish football team had started several months even before the tournament was played, because 14 or 15 of the players had rebelled against the coach and wanted him replaced. And Rubiales and the Spanish Football Federation stood firm and kept the coach. And Hermoso, significantly, was one of the players initially who had wanted the coach replaced, but she didn't go the ultimate step of boycotting the team or stepping away from the team. So, you know, it's significant that she is so much a part of the story as it now stands. But as we know, the coach ended up winning the tournament with a team of a lot of players that weren't in the first selection, which was a tremendous story for Spain. Let's start there. But as you just said, Mariah, the celebration was a little over the top for the president. And I must say that from day one, he has been in the red for me. And I know there are people who believe his story that the kiss was consensual. But when the story broke initially and the furor had begun, his first reaction was that people who were criticizing him were idiots. And I thought that was such a senseless response from a man who was in charge of football in the country. He should have recognized in that moment that he cannot be the arrogant Rubiales, because it was clear that the kiss did not go over well with millions of people who saw it. So to describe people who are criticizing him as idiots set me off on a position on him from the beginning. And I just think he's one of these sports administrators that displays a little too much arrogance. And I honestly think he should step down. I don't know why he is holding on to the position, given that FIFA, the governing body for world football, has also sidelined him. And you know, he's in trouble, and he's wrong and strong as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, and he's adamant that he's not stepping down. He said that the kiss was spontaneous, it was mutual. He would have done this even to his daughters, like if they won, you know, it's part of how they celebrate. He also, and this was news to me because I was looking at a BBC report on it, of course in preparation for the show, that he apologized to the Queen and her teenage daughters because there was a separate incident where he was grabbing his crotch as part of the celebration as well, and of course offense because it's the Queen and her children. So he felt it necessary to apologize to them, but not to Hermoso.
Yeah, you're very much right, Mariah, and you're right as well, Lance, and I completely agree that Rubiales is in trouble here, and he clearly is wrong and strong. And Mariah made a very important point, because in situations like these, quite often, one of the things you look at, is this the only instance where something like this happened? And what is popping up are a number of other instances where Rubiales would have found himself in
compromising position.
So, for example, there are reports that say that when he got to the dressing room on that night that they won the World Cup as well, he joked that he would take the entire team to Ibiza. And if you know Ibiza, I mean, that's party central. It's, how do I say this nicely? It's a place where you go to have great fun. That's the way I put it.
Yeah, there are a lot of songs about it.
Yes, there you go. And that he also joked that he would marry Hermoso. So when you go on making comments like that, you are not helping yourself. And clearly, the players have had issues with the administration of Spanish football and how they are being treated and dealt with as women, and how there is a lack of respect for what they do and who they are. And because of that, I think they're even stronger in pushing that they need Rubiales out. And clearly, FIFA has a zero tolerance on this. The Spanish government has gotten involved as well. And this ends one way, as far as I'm concerned. And Rubiales can either do it the easy way and resign and step away, or he can do it the hard way and go into a fight that I suspect he will not win.
Yeah, well, we see thousands of demonstrators in the streets against him, and we wonder how much traction is being gained by his narrative that the kiss was consensual.
Well, his mom is actually striking, according to the reports I looked at. She's doing a hunger strike because, and I had to write it down.
Yeah, but moms always defend their sons.
A witch hunt is against her son.
Yeah, moms always defend their sons. That we've seen.
I don't suspect he's going to get a lot of traction, right? Because Hermoso has said it was not a mutual kiss. I did not want it.
And the ladies in the team are supporting her so much so the backroom staff has started to resign.
So there you go, Lance. And that's part of why I think that he will not get a lot of traction, because he doesn't have the support from within the team or within the Spanish organization. In fact, he does not have support anywhere. If you look at one of the latest reports coming from Hermoso, well, at least the release that was sent to the media, where she essentially said, listen, I did not want this. I did not consent to this. And where she also pointed out that she and her family were being put under pressure to say something that would support Rubiales in this fight, and which clearly they have not been willing to do. So as far as I'm concerned, this ends one way, and maybe this is one time that Rubiales should take the easy route, dump the arrogance in a bin somewhere.
One of the significant things about this story too is that the coach who Rubiales stood up for when the players were revolting against him is now against him. The coach got Rubiales' support when the players were against him, and Rubiales stood firm against a lot of pressure to keep him as the coach. And now the coach himself has gone against Rubiales, so that should tell you a lot. I also think that Rubiales is in a position where he is, as I said at the top, displaying a kind of arrogance that I've seen from so many sports administrators, and hanging on to the position as if their life depends on it.
Yeah.
It seems really, really obvious to me that he has no choice but to back off from his current position. And he seems unwilling to do that. I know he has a hefty salary of about $250,000.
I tell you something, Lance and Mariah. I also think that some initial comments made by Hermoso have been misinterpreted. So initially, I think it was the day after the incident.
Or the night.
Yeah.
Because those had me confused. Those comments.
Hermoso said it was because of the emotion of the moment. There's nothing more there. And I think a lot of individuals have taken that quote to mean that she was okay with it and that it was mutual. But when I think about it, in my opinion, I think what she is saying, because there was also a suggestion that maybe there was a pre-relationship between Hermoso and Rubiales. And I think what she is trying to dispel here is that there is nothing between me and this man. We have nothing, so there was no reason for that kiss. And that's what I'm starting to pick up from those initial comments that she made, because incidentally, those comments
were interpreted as it's fine.
Yeah, but they came after she had done an Instagram live where she'd already stated that it wasn't a mutual kiss.
Okay.
So her very first comments when she had an Instagram live with teammates is to say that it was not mutual. And then these comments followed when she did a radio show later on.
Yeah, I heard a BBC reporter covering the story, and he suggested that there is fairly strong support within the Spanish Football Federation for Rubiales.
Yes.
But as the days go by, his supporters are not vocal. So a lot of the support that he has is dormant. It's like they're supporting, but they're being quiet.
And
so
why do you think they're being quiet, Lance?
That doesn't speak well for them.
Why do you think they're being quiet?
Because the odds are against them.
All right, team, we have to leave that conversation right here. We're going to pay some bills and be right back.